Hello students. At this picture you could see electrochemical cells. If two different metals are dipped into salt solutions of their own salt, one will start donating electrons and the other one will accept electrons. Why this happens and why all the metals cannot be chosen as anodes or cathodes? Why? What exactly happens? All these will be answered in this lecture. So, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about single electrode potential, galvanic cell, copper and zinc cell especially. So, the course outcome for this unit is to develop fundamentals of electrochemistry in engineering processes, and the Bloom's taxonomy level is apply level. The learning outcome would be at the end of this lecture, students will be able to determine the single electrode potential and you'll also be able to construct a galvanic cell. So let us see what is an electrode potential. So always a metal will be neutral in its state when it is all alone, but when it is immersed in its own salt solution, it will generate a tendency either to lose electrons or gain electrons. That is what we call it as an electrode potential. So metal that has valence electrons, so when it is immersed in its own salt solution, a tendency will be generated. Positive metals ions may pass into the solution, and positive metal ions from the solution may get deposited over the metal. So losing electrons we call it as oxidation, and gaining of electrons we call it as reduction. What happens exactly when zinc electrode is immersed in zinc sulfate solution? So zinc will lose 2 electrons. Each zinc atom will lose 2 electrons and zinc 2 plus goes into the solution. Whereas in copper immersed in copper sulfate, copper 2 plus gains electrons. So copper 2 plus, which is available in the solution, gains 2 electrons and it gets deposited over the electrode. A sort of layer, positive or negative ion, is formed all around the metal, and this layer is called Helmholtz electrical double layer. So this layer prevents further passing of the positive ions from or to the metal, and there will be generation of difference in potential consequently set up between the metal and the solution. At equilibrium, the potential difference becomes a constant value, and that is known as electrode potential of the metal. As I told you, if a metal has a tendency to lose electrons, we call it as oxidation potential, and if a metal has a tendency to gain electrons, it is called as reduction potential. And these are the factors affecting electrode potential, like the nature of the metal, the temperature, the concentration of the metal ions in solution. Now, let us define what is single electrode potential and standard electrode potential. Actually, the definition is same. Only thing is the condition will be different. If you have to have standard, we'll have to maintain the concentration and the temperature. So if concentration and the temperature is maintained throughout, that is known as standard. So what is single electrode potential? So it is a measure of tendency of a metallic electrode to lose or gain electrons when it is in contact with the solution of its own salt. So this metal has a tendency to lose or gain electrons when it is immersed in its own salt solution. This tendency we call it as single electrode potential. If the concentration is maintained as 1 molar and the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius or 298 Kelvin, we call it a standard electrode potential. So how to measure the single electrode potential? It is impossible to determine directly the absolute value of single electrode potential. So we need to use what is known as reference electrode. Most probably we'll be making use of a standard hydrogen electrode, otherwise known as She, okay, whose potential has been arbitrarily fixed as 0. This is the construction of She or standard hydrogen electrode, which is otherwise known as primary reference electrode. We have a platinum foil coated with platinum black, and it is connected to a platinum wire. And this is enclosed with a glass envelope through which hydrogen gas is bubbled with 1 atmospheric pressure, and this is immersed in hydrochloric acid of 1 molar solution. So this is the construction of She and is represented as platinum, comma, hydrogen, which is at 1 atmospheric pressure immersed in H plus, that is hydrochloric acid of 1 molar, and its electrode potential is taken as 0 volts. Now, how to determine the electrode potential of unknown electrode? Say, for example, we want to determine the electrode potential of unknown electrode. It could be coupled with She, and the voltmeter, whatever values the voltmeter shows, that could be taken as the electrode potential, because the value of She is taken as 0 arbitrarily. And all the reference electrodes can be anodic as well as cathodic. So if it behaves like anode, there will be loss of electrons. If it behaves like cathode, it gains electrons. But the limitation is like it requires hydrogen gas and it is difficult to set up and transport. It requires considerable volume of test solution. The solution may poison the surface of the platinum electrode. The potential of the electrode is altered by changes in barometric pressure. So rather primary reference electrode, we can also make use of what is called secondary reference electrode, and the best example is saturated calomel electrode. Here we have also a platinum wire. It is immersed in mercury, above which we have mercurous chloride, and rest of the tube is filled with KCl. So we have two glass tubes, inner glass tube and the outer glass tube. The platinum wire is enclosed in a glass. This is inner glass tube. And the outer glass tube, we have mercury, mercurous chloride, and KCl. We have a side vent, and this will serve as a salt bridge. And this opening could be used for filling up of KCl solution. And we also have a ebonite lid, and this is sealed. So this is the construction of calomel electrode, and it has a tendency to give 0.2422 volts. The KCl solution which we are using here will be a saturated solution, because if the concentration varies, the electrode potential which it produces also will vary. And the calomel electrode is represented like this, like mercury, mercurous chloride, then KCl, saturated solution. The electrode potential produced here is 0.2422 volts. And here also, since it is a reference electrode, it can either act as an anode or as a cathode. If it is acting as anode, there will be loss of electrons. If it is acting as cathode, gaining of electrons. Just the reverse reaction will take place. So if at all we are changing the KCl concentration 0.1 N, it can produce 0.3338 volts, and 1 N can produce 0.28 volts. Saturated KCl will produce 0.2422 volts. As we discussed earlier, that how to measure the single electrode potential. Okay, say for example, for zinc, we have to measure. It could be either coupled with calomel electrode or coupled with She. Okay, if it is coupled with She, whatever values the potentiometer shows, that could be taken as the electrode potential of zinc. Whereas if it is coupled with saturated calomel electrode, E naught of cell will be equal to E naught right minus E naught left, and we know the calomel electrode value is 0.2422 volts. This is the EMF which is shown in the potentiometer. So that difference will give us the E naught of zinc. Using the equation E cell is equal to E right minus E left, we can calculate. So, the electrode potential of various metals are calculated and they are listed in the increasing or decreasing order to form a series, and that is what is known as electrochemical series or EMF series. Now we are moving on to cells and batteries. This is a lemon battery. It is very easy to construct. Take lemon and insert a zinc rod and a copper rod and connect them. There will be production of energy. That is what is known as EMF. We can also generate the same thing using potatoes. So, origin of cells. Galvani, he observed frogs' legs twitch when exposed to a current, and Volta realized it was due to the current flowing through electrolytes in body, and Volta invented the first battery by connecting multiple electric cells together. Based on spontaneous redox reactions, it was able to produce a consistent current. So what are electrochemical cells or galvanic cells? They can convert chemical energy into electrical energy, and it involves redox reactions. Whenever you talk about any electrochemical cell, we should discuss in terms of construction, representation, cell reaction, and EMF. Let us see how we can construct a cell. To construct any cell, we require two electrodes and an electrolyte. Okay, there are two types of cells. One is electrolytic cell, another one is voltaic cell. An electrolytic cell, the electricity is used to force the chemicals to undergo a redox reaction, whereas in voltaic cell, electricity is produced spontaneously from a redox reaction. Otherwise, we can take a mobile as an example. When we are using, the battery will work as voltaic cell, and when we are charging, it will work like electrolytic cell. So this is also known as galvanic cell, and it is constructed like this. We have two half cells, okay, anodic half cell and cathodic half cell. So electrode immersed in its own salt solution will be taken, and to connect this, we require what is called as a salt bridge. So these are the requirements. We have anodic half cell, cathodic half cell, salt bridge, voltmeter or potentiometer. Most probably in galvanic cell or Daniel cell, we make use of zinc immersed in zinc sulfate and copper immersed in copper sulfate. The driving force on electron to move them through the wire. The electric potential difference is the energy difference per unit charge. Depends on the types of electrodes and electrolytes used in cells. The electric current is the rate of flow of the charge in the circuit. Salt bridge, it is used to have electrical neutrality, and also it will allow the movements of anions towards anodic compartment and cations to cathodic compartment. Most probably we'll be using potassium chloride, ammonium nitrate in a gelatin form. This allows ionic movement only, but prevents any kind of mixing. This is chosen because all the cations and anions, their mobility will be the same. So the bridge acts as an electrical contact between two half cells. Mechanical flow of solution, it is prevented, and also it prevents accumulation of charges, and the salt bridge minimizes or eliminates the liquid junction potential. These are the cell quantities. Okay, charge Q is the symbol, coulombs is the unit, current I, ampere is the unit, potential difference V, volt is the unit, power P, watt is the unit, and energy density, joules per kilogram. So this is how an electrochemical cell is constructed. We have anodic half cell, cathodic half cell connected by a salt bridge. Either potentiometer or voltmeter will be used. Second one is representation of a cell. Usually, anodic half cell is represented first, followed by a cathodic half cell. In the case of anodic half cell, anode followed by electrolyte. In the case of cathodic half cell, electrolyte followed by electrode. And double slash is used to represent the solid.